That's not that good.
Oh, you saw that already?
That's awesome.
Kate Marchbank and Joe Calarco are choosing what film to see.
You actually saw it?
Yeah, we saw it. It's terrible.
Of course it's terrible. Oh my God.
They subscribe to MoviePass.
A movie in LA, just one movie, is more than $10 a month. So if you just use it once a month, it's worth your money.
Even though they're both Hollywood actors, they say their movie watching habits were those of typical Americans. Increasingly, they've been opting to stay in and watch the small screen, a trend that led to a nearly 6% drop in box office numbers in the US in 2017, bringing movie admissions in America to their lowest in a quarter of a century. But MoviePass is changing that.
I wasn't seeing movies on the big screen nearly as much as I used to. Partly because of price, partly because just convenience. Netflix and Amazon and those kinds of services where I was just staying home a lot more.
It's been totally worth my money, and I go to, I would say, 3 times as many movies as I did before.
MoviePass has existed in various forms since 2011, but only took off last year when it lowered its prices to the current $10 a month for up to 1 movie a day. Subscriptions spiked, topping 3 million last month. So how exactly does MoviePass make money? Well, for now, it's not profitable. But CEO Mitch Lowe says the strength of the business model lies in that massive number of subscribers, to whom they can market not only films, but other products as well. The sustainability of that model remains up in the air, but insiders say MoviePass is already changing how Americans see movies, with subscribers willing to branch out beyond blockbusters.
I see people actually say, I'll give it the MoviePass try. Well, they'll use the card to experiment.
Jeremy Fester, who writes about film for The Wrap, says there's no doubt a MoviePass effect is underway. The largest movie theater chain in the U.S., AMC, has now launched its own subscription service.
The new AMC Stubs A-List.
One similar to the successful passes that have been offered on the European market for years.
When you join Limitless.
Whether or not MoviePass is going to last, I don't think it's as interesting as the fact that this European subscription model is now coming to the United States, and with a lot more bargains and a lot more offers.
The ultimate question, of course, is not which movie subscription will be the most popular in the US, but rather will any of them manage to keep movie theaters attractive, faced with intense competition from the high-quality original content on television today. Mary McCarthy, TRT World, Los Angeles.
And Mary joins us now for more from Los Angeles and Tinseltown, as we can see there behind you. Mary, I don't know about you, but personally speaking, nothing quite beats going to the movies with a bag of popcorn and sitting down in a big movie theater with a big screen. But Netflix has been eating into that audience, hasn't it? But these latest figures, do analysts think that it's a blip in a long-term growth trend, or have we seen peak Netflix?
Well, there's a fairly wide consensus among analysts that this latest result is really, as you say, a blip, and that we are far from peak Netflix. And as much as people like you and I might like to go to the movie theater and sit down with popcorn, that's no longer reality for most people. They want to watch, whether it's films or television series, they want to sit down and watch it now in front of their TV. If it's a television series, watch every episode one after the other, binge watch. And the watching habits have certainly changed. And we're seeing that with the fact that Netflix growth, even if we've had this less than stellar result this quarter, long term, the potential is still massive, certainly here domestically. But the key words for long term growth are international and specifically India. The sky is still very much the limit for Netflix on the international market. And in India, where they're already making an awful lot of headway, analysts are saying that the total number of Netflix subscribers in India will likely be more than double what it will be in the United States. So Netflix, I would say, despite this latest result, is still very much the future of the watching that we do.
Yeah, it is an interesting trend, as you say, that they are growing. They're throwing a lot of their strategy into emerging markets like India, as you say. But the problems as they grow into those markets is a lot of local streaming providers are also throwing up a lot of competition for local content, which perhaps a lot of consumers are perhaps more into than what Netflix can provide. But that's a whole different story. But look, back in the US, Netflix has received more Emmy nominations than HBO for the first time. But it's still throwing a lot of money into generating this original content that is generating these Emmys. But is that strategy going to work in the long term? Can they afford to keep burning through so much cash?
Well, first, let's look at the numbers of that original content they're producing. As we heard earlier in your report, about $8 billion this year alone on original content. That breaks down to about 1,000 films and first-run original television series that Netflix is putting out there with, Emmy Award-winning or potentially Emmy Award-winning content with big names like Barack and Michelle Obama, like Will Smith. And according to Netflix, what they say is that producing that much, both quantity and quality of original content, it's not a matter of can they, but that they have to, that's what brings in so many new subscribers who say, we want to see these big names, we want to see a ton of it, and for that we'll pay for Netflix rather than Amazon or Hulu or Apple. In the long term, of course, down the road in a few years, that massive quantity of spending, billions every year on original content, is not sustainable. But for now, they're showing that it certainly is.
Yeah. Mary, let's briefly talk about your report where you were talking about movie theatres, which is a fascinating trend, MoviePass. But the company behind MoviePass itself isn't doing all that well, is it?
It's not doing well at all. Shares in its parent company, which is Helios and Matheson, a data and analytics firm, have been dropping steadily all year, hitting, in fact, this week an all-time low. But the CEO of that company, Ted Farnsworth, he very much has that staunch optimism of the CEO of MoviePass, saying that it's like a lot of companies that they knew very well it wouldn't initially be profitable. They predict that MoviePass will be profitable by the end of the year, turning about $600 million. They say in order to hit that goal, they need to grow from the current 3 million subscribers up to 5 million. That's certainly very much a possibility. And a reminder that their business model is, in the long term, taking the data of subscribers and leveraging it to make money from that through marketing. And one final note, they do also plan to join that business of original content, also producing their own films if they manage to stay in business that long, of course.
Mary McCarthy in Los Angeles, thank you very much indeed.